You have to admire the staff at the school. It's an amazing job these.
Involved. So the 7th of September, Manchester United's Legends team will host Paul Lambert's Celtic at Old Trafford. All the proceeds, as Zara said before, go to the Manchester United Foundation. It is an incredible cause, and there is actually an offer at the moment. 2 adult tickets, 2 children's tickets for free. Can't be bad to that. How much are you looking forward to that, Phil?
I am. Obviously, Simo's been training for his upcoming boxing match, but I've been training obviously to get fit for the game. And
is that why you went for a run this morning?
Yeah.
I didn't put the 2 and 2 together.
2K, you mean? But you do your 5K and I do 2K.
5K.
I was in a little bit of a rush, but yeah, just try to tick over. Obviously, great chance of coming back playing at Old Trafford and see some old faces and. It'd be great to play with some of the lads. Obviously, Rooney, Berbatov.
Yeah, I know the list.
Some fantastic
Valencia, Carrick.
The list is endless. Absolute legends on there. So it'll be a privilege to be involved and really looking forward to it. And
Brian Robson, of course, the manager. How much are you looking forward to it, Danny?
Yeah, same as Phil. Like said, to go back out onto this pitch. It's been a long time. Like you said, the players that I want to get the chance to share the pitch with again and. Just the occasion, everything that it means, everything that it's for, just to be asked and to be a part of it, I can't wait and yeah, I feel like I'm in decent shape as well, so that's going to help.
He's gone from an extra large kit to a medium kit now.
I'll have to pass that on to Albert Morgan, he's the kit man for the occasion. Okay, just looking ahead then to the game this afternoon, what kind of game are you expecting down there, Danny?
Yeah, I'm expecting, especially with the weather, good football. I'm expecting both teams to zip the ball about. Very, very quick, fast. I know everyone's still finding their feet in terms of only having one game in the season, but I'm expecting it to start really quick, especially these early games. I get to see that. So yeah, I want to see both teams on the front foot, and I'm expecting to see exciting football and getting everyone off their feet.
And a nice early goal for us would be a dream start, Phil.
Yeah, absolutely. It's key in these games, obviously. They're at home, first home game of the season, so from our point of view, it's obviously being compact, being organised like we were last week, and obviously hitting them on the counter attack when we can. We've got blistering pace in the team. I'm expecting a couple of goals from us today, that's for sure. Obviously we've got key players on the bench, obviously who played a huge part last week.
Yeah. I know we haven't even spoken about Delit during the show as well. Of course, he came on to make his debut, and I'm sure he would be keen to get on the pitch as well today, because playing in front of the away fans at Manchester United, there's nothing like that.
There's nothing better, no. But it's really difficult as a defender, as you'll say. Obviously, you're coming off the back of a clean sheet. It's really hard for the manager to change the back line. So I'm sure he'll get his game time throughout the season, and obviously, hopefully we'll see him in a red shirt soon.
And now we can see in the tunnel Bruno Fernandes ready to lead his team out, and we are ready to hand over to the commentary team, Andy Ritchie and Liam.
Thanks very much, Helen. Yes, match day 2 of the Premier League season sees Manchester United head south all the way to Brighton to take on a side that they haven't necessarily had the best of fortunes against in recent years. In fact, here's a bad omen for you. Manchester United have lost 43% of their Premier League meetings with Brighton. That's 6 out of 14. Against no one do they have a higher loss rate. However, I think things have turned around. Brighton have won 4 of the last 5 games against United, but they didn't win the last one. That one, with this new look Eric Ten Hag side, won fairly comfortably 2-0 at home on the final day of last season, and I think that is the turning point for this Manchester United side. And it's a United side that has Bruno Fernandes in, and he loves scoring against Brighton. Andy Ritchie.
Yes, listen, excuse me, I spent 4.5 years down in Brighton. It's a lovely place. I don't know where the rain's come from today, because it never rains in Brighton. But we have rain. It's a super stadium, as we know. It's a difficult place to come to, as you've just mentioned. It has notoriously been quite hard for us over the last few seasons. And bingo of bad news, I can't believe this fact that we are going to try to win our first 2 Premier League games. The first time we can do it since 2017-18 season, which is amazing to me.
Yeah, it's incredible. It would also be huge looking ahead to Liverpool next weekend. To be going into that game with 6 points would be massive, and really remove any kind of pressure going into that game for this Manchester United side. I am positive about today. I think this Manchester United side have shown some really good things all the way through pre-season. If they can apply things to this game, they could give Brighton a real good test, because for large parts of Brighton's game against Everton last weekend, it was Everton that was the better side.
Yes, definitely. But you have to take your chances. We've said that so many times. I mean, you could have said that last Friday for us. We had so many chances. Bruno Fernandes, you know, spurning 2 chances in the first half. Second one should have scored. First one, I thought goalkeeper did quite well with it. But you've got to take your chances, and sometimes if you don't, you miss out. You miss out on the game, because this is such a competitive league nowadays, Liam.
I know that XG is one of those stats that some people love and some people loathe. It's the measure of how good the opportunities were and how many goals were expected given the opportunities that you had over the course of the game. Manchester United's XG last weekend was 2.85. So the expected goals should have been 3 for Manchester United. It ended up being... I think that kind of measure shows this is a creative Manchester United side that probably just need that focal point. They need, you know, Rasmus Højlund to be fit. They need Xerxes to get back to his level of fitness, or they need Bruno Fernandes to take up that role, which he did pretty well for large parts of last week.
He did. I mean, someone said to me after the game on Friday night, good saves. I said no. I said, give you that one with the first one, because it come to him in a difficult position. He was on the half-turn edge. He's tried to flick it in with his right foot. Outside of his right foot, one bad miss.
And Craig Pawson, the referee. Andre Onana in goal. Dalot, Martinez, Maguire and Mazraoui the back 4. Mainu and Casemiro in midfield. Rashford, Mount and Ahmad, with Bruno Fernandes occupying the false 9. It will be Manchester United to get us started. We're wearing red, white and black. Craig Pawson checks all 4 of the watches that he's wearing, and the game is underway. He's got one watch, one backup watch, the offside stroke goal line technology watch. It's all over. Wearing about 1 million different devices, Craig Pawson.
He'll have one on his head soon, won't he?
That camera will be the next thing, and a microphone so you can tell everybody what's going on with the VAR decisions. That'd be sensational. One day, maybe. Long ball forward from Manchester United is intercepted well by Lewis Dunk, and back they go to Jason Steele, the goalkeeper, away to our left-hand side. So Brighton playing left to right, have Steele in goal, Joel Veltman, Lewis Dunk, Van Hecke and Hinchelwood the back 4, Gilmore and Milner the midfield, Minte, Pedro and Mitoma behind Danny Welbeck up front. The ball is all the way back with Andre Onana away to our right-hand side, bedecked in yellow today. The Cameroonian receives the ball back from Lisandro Martinez. Now out to Diogo Dalot on the left-hand side, who just drops it back to the left-sided centre-half Martinez. Short ball to Mainu. First ball round the corner to Diogo Dalot. Not quite far enough in front of Dalot for him to make the run, so retreats back to Lisandro Martinez. And what we've got in the opening minute or so here, Andy Ritchie, is a bit of a game of chess.
Well, I think most games in the Premier League start like this, don't they? You know, just feeling people out and seeing what they can do, maybe where they can go and press. United just losing the ball down that right side. They've got it back through Mazraoui.
Yeah.
I was close. Yeah, it is like a game of chess, isn't it? But What I want to see is the Manchester United press when they get it at the back. They've gone up with 3 to try and stop Manchester United playing out from the back. How will we do it? Will Mason Mount join 2 other players? Will they push on hard? They didn't really push and really go at us there. They were just quite happy for us to kick the ball at the back.
Ball is out to the left-hand side where it's picked up by Hinchelwood. Hinchelwood being harried by Mason Mount, who's won the ball back for Manchester United. Forward it comes now through Ahmad, looks to get it back towards Bruno Fernandes, just slips by him, and it's going to be tidied up by Van Hecker. Goes back to Jason Steele, who right-footed sends the ball up towards halfway. Flicked on in midfield by Brighton's Minte, but he can't find Danny Welbeck, so carried away by Harry Maguire, who sends it back to Andre Onana, and Manchester United are building from the back again. Martinez slides it down the right-hand side to Diogo Dalot, skips past the first tackle, and the second one too. Picked up by Mainu. Mainu trying to win that ball back, steps into the challenge, makes a good tackle. Referee says it's going to be play on for Brighton. I thought Mainu had won the ball, but instead all the way back it comes to Lewis Dunk, and now Manchester United can start their own press.
Yeah, they're not, well, both teams at the moment, not really.
Hold that thought, Andy Ritchie. Yeah. Minte's away down the right-hand side. He's cut into the penalty area. Slide tackle comes in from Diogo Dalot, and that slide tackle really important because it delivered the ball back to the waiting arms of Andre Onana.
Well, the ball comes to Minte. May have been a suggestion of offside. Plays it with the outside of his left foot. Why he does that, I don't know. It gives Diogo Dalot a chance to slide in at him. Should have just taken it with his right, but you see so many players these days that favour their best foot and try and get it onto their best foot all the time.
Mainu finds Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes smashes a crossfield ball into the feet of Mazraoui. Mazraoui attacking down the right-hand side. He's got Ahmad with him. Lays it into the path of the Ivorian. In the space between the touchline and the edge of the 18-yard box. Bruno Fernandes swings a ball in towards the back post where Marcus Rashford was waiting. But Jason Steele climbs highest, collects the ball above his head and bowls it out to start Brighton off again.
Yeah, it was in a good position and a good height for Steele to come out and just take that under no pressure. Marcus Rashford couldn't really get to the ball. I don't think there was a defender in the way, making that difficult, but at least good ball into the box. Maybe, you know, could have done a little bit better with the delivery, but Bruno Fernandes, oh, he's getting a right wallop on the back of his head there.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable from James Milner. Marcus Rashford's picked the ball up though. He's on the edge of the penalty area, just tracking across, lays it off to Casemiro, knocks it back to Bruno Fernandes, who's still holding the back of his head. He is back on his feet, but it was a clumsy old challenge, wasn't it, from James Milner as he went to try and win that up against Bruno Fernandes, who's now started a run, and he's going to try and be picked out by Lisandro Martinez. It's just too much on it from the Argentinian for Bruno to reach.
Still feeling his head, isn't he? It was a bit of a clout from James Milner, and that ball there from Martinez just overhit just slightly, and with the weather today and the rain and the moisture on the pitch, it's never going to stop, it's never going to hold up, it's always going to skip on, and that's exactly what it did.
How much rain do you need for it to stop skipping on and start stopping?
I don't think there's ever going to be.
It does happen, doesn't it?
It
like
does.
You're going to end up with it so wet that the ball doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
but I think we might need a biblical storm. Free kick's been given by Craig Pawson.
Well, they took it quickly, which is as they can do.
But the ball was still moving, which is what Craig Pawson has said.
Oh my God! Yeah, well, okay.
I mean, they're the rules, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, listen, I know they're the rules, but how many times are they adhered to when teams take it quickly?
Well, if the rules are chosen to be implemented by the referee, then that's up to the referee.
Okay, you're in that mood today.
No, I was just saying it's the law of the game. Just because you don't like it, Andy Ritchie, doesn't mean we can write it out of the rule book.
It's not that I don't like it. I just thought, listen, if they want to take it quickly, and it wasn't moving a lot, the referee, I don't think, you know. Anyway, we've got a corner.
We have, and it's really well done. It's that high press that Andy Ritchie was talking about at the beginning of the game, wanting to see how effective it was. The answer to the question is very, because all of a sudden, bang! bags of pressure come on in the penalty area, and the ball gets shipped out of play by Van Hecke because he's got nowhere to go. And that's exactly what you were calling for at the beginning of the game, Andy Ritchie, was to see just how effective that press was.
Yeah.
More on that in a minute, once we've dealt with the corner. So, Andreas Kjorgsson will be watching from the touchline as Bruno Fernandes delivers into the penalty area, drilled in low, headed away by Van Hecke, comes back out to Fernandes. Fernandes, short ball to Ahmad, who evades the challenge of Mitoma. Centre of the pitch now, just rolls it back to the edge of the centre circle where Nous Mazraoui lays this off to Bruno Fernandes, but again, just not a lot of option in terms of getting that ball forward, so back it goes to Onana, who sends a lovely ball out to the right-hand side to find Marcus Rashford, who was offside. Flag goes up and free kick goes Brighton's way.
That was a tight one for me. I thought Marcus might have been onside there when the ball was actually played. I think he was slightly offside when it got to him. But anyway, referee and linesman in accordance, as you would think. And it was given offside.
These new semi-automated offsides going on in the Premier League this season as well. If you've not seen this, it's all lines being drawn by computers. And
well, that's one of his watches, isn't it? Has he got an offside watch now as well?
Probably. He's got a watch, a backup watch, a goal line technology watch, an offside watch, a radio, vanishing spray. He's like wearing a utility belt like Superman is Craig Pawson. Or Batman, he wore a better utility belt, didn't he?
Yeah, he's probably got a watch to see if his car's still in the car park as well.
Or if the ball's still moving.
Well, there you go, right. We were talking about, you know, the rules and what have you about that free kick. Are they not supposed to be stopping people from not playing the ball at corners from outside the arc?
Yep.
Well, Bruno Fernandes just took a corner and it wasn't touching the arc, so they're not really getting on top of that, are they?
Well, there you go. Referee chooses not to enforce a rule. The ball has been knocked out of play by Mason Mount, who was quick, smart up the pitch. What a real highlight of watching Mason Mount is just how effective he is at pressing out of possession. It's a joy to watch. It's a lesson in how to do it properly. And I think we'll probably see more and more out of Mason Mount as the season goes on, because he is a quality footballer, and if he can stay fit, which I think was a frustration for him last season more than anybody else, we'll see the very, very best out of Mason Mount. Meanwhile, Brighton in possession on the edge of their own penalty area. Lewis Dunk just turns around in a circle before squaring the pass up to Van Hecke across the edge of the 18-yard box, now pushed out wide to the right-hand side, and Joel Veltman, who played for Erik ten Hag at Ajax. And it's not the only link to a Manchester United manager that Joel Veltman's got, because he was given his Netherlands debut by Louis van Gaal. Well, Brighton from distance have a shy from Joao Pedro, but it's dragged wide of the upright. Was never really troubling Andre Onana from 40 yards.
No, mistimed it completely, didn't he, Pedro? Little ball inside from Milner. Listen, have a go. I would say all day, have a go from there. Nobody going to close him down, but when he actually took the shot, he just took it a little bit too quickly.
Marcus Rashford impeded as he knocks the ball into a bit of space. James Milner just comes across and blocks him from progressing, and that is a wily old footballer in James Milner. 23 Premier League seasons he's played in now, and is 18 games away from breaking the Premier League appearance record held by his former teammate Gareth Barry.
Really? I didn't know that. Brilliant footballer, superb pro. When I was academy manager at Leeds, he was
Diogo Dalot's
there.
Sorry, Andy.
Yep.
Finish that story in a second. Dalot's got a ball into the middle. It's brilliant from Manchester United, but Amad Diallo trying to get the ball under control, pops it over the top. Dalot did so well to scamper away down the left-hand side. He was standing on halfway. Andre Onana gets there. He flicks the ball on with his head, spins and goes Diogo Dalot down the left-hand side. Whips a left-footed cross in with his left boot, as I say, and then it meets the head of looks to meet the head of Ahmad, and he just drops off it and tries to get an instep on the ball, and as he does so, it jags wide of the post.
I thought actually the ball was a little bit higher, and I thought he should have headed it. I'm still of the mind that he probably should have stooped to head that. It was a difficult ball to take on his left foot as it's coming round. It would have been easier for him to maybe get his right foot up and just guide it into the goal. He should have got the least on target. I think another bad miss. Brilliant ball in from Diogo Dalot, all his own making. As you say, gets up, knocks the ball on, manages to get onto his own sort of flick on, if you like, and it was a superb ball in.
Yeah, it really was.
Ahmad's got to score there for me.
Harry Maguire comes across to Andre Onana. Onana directing traffic with an outstretched white glove. Comes back to Kobbie Mainoo. Ben Thornley has just sent me a text message wherever he is in the ground, and it says, I might have gone with the other foot.
Exactly what I just said.
Which is exactly what Andy Ritchie has just said. Flicked on this time by Marcus Rashford, but Rashford can't get the chase on that because it's swallowed up quickly by Lewis Dunk. Balls out to the right-hand side. Veltman comes back to Van Hekke, another Dutchman. Looking for a forward ball, can't find one. Mason Mount starts to press. Manchester United now switch on into that pressing mode, and Van Hekke turns himself back into a little bit of bother. Back it comes to Steele. Bruno Fernandes still pressing. Van Hekke going to try and get rid of this ball, but again he just kind of stuck in the mud a little. Tries to get the ball, in so doing manages to set Brighton up on a bit of a counter-attack. Minte tries to get there, well covered by Diogo Dalot.
It's been good, the pressing, hasn't it, by Manchester United? They did this well, I think, in pre-season. Maybe not as well against Fulham the other week, but they've really started well now.
Kobbie Mainoo played into a little bit of trouble by Marcus Rashford there, and he tries to wriggle himself free. And as he does so, just pulls on the shirt of Billy Gilmour. And Gilmour goes down under the strength of Kobbie Mainoo.
Well, you mentioned Mason Mount and him being fit and the way that he does press. He's a real key person, I think, in this press, because he just leaves it a little bit late sometimes and then just sprints in and gets on the back and on the heels of people that have got the ball and they don't know where to go. Van Hekke there, he was actually being pressed by Bruno Fernandes, but helped out by Mason Mount, who's the first man in that press at the moment.
Yeah, he's almost the trigger as well, Mason Mount. When he goes, everybody goes. This is a long ball forward from Brighton, which is carefully brought down on the chest by Nous Mazraoui. Gets it back to Andre Onana. It comes to Lisandro Martinez, who flicks the ball on, finds Kobbie Mainoo, and Manchester United eventually run the ball out of play on this near side, but I'm not sure that Lisandro Martinez will be writing too many thank you cards to Andre Onana for the pass that he's just received on the edge of the 18-yard box.
No,
it wasn't
really
particularly friendly.
It had a blue light on it, didn't it?
It was drilled at him from close range. He's done really well to get a touch on it, to get it away to Mainoo. United trying to play out of this Brighton press here. Bruno Fernandes finds an out ball to Marcus Rashford, who uses his strength and a little bit of skill to extricate himself from the situation. Mason Mount spreads the play out to the right-hand side. Mazraoui's gone on a long busting run down the right-hand side. Ahmad finds him, checks back, now gets the ball into the middle, almost squeezes it through to Bruno Fernandes, and Marcus Rashford, who made a great run into the penalty area, can't do so, and then trying to win it back gives the free kick away.
Do you think Mazraoui should have played in Ahmad without trying not to come across this area where there's a lot of blue and white striped jerseys? Maybe should have just slipped it down the side again to Ahmad, who had gone past him. I think that would have been the better ball.
I'm going to leave you to give your opinion on situations like that, considering I've not played a minute of Premier League football. Yeah, I think it's just safer all round. I'll leave it to the person that's played. Marcus Rashford finds Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo moves this on to Casemiro. Casemiro, who looked brilliant against Fulham. I've got to say, one of the great Casemiro performances for me. Thought he was really, really good.
Well, again, it's somebody that has come back this season and looked really fit. I didn't think he looked totally fit last season when he started off for Manchester United. I think he's come back lean, and he looks like the Casemiro that we had in that first season.
Shredded is what he is. I saw him take his shirt off after the Community Shield, and the man is ripped.
Yeah.
This is all the way back to Jason Steele in the Brighton goal. Mason Mount's going to start the press with Lewis Dunk. Marcus Rashford's going to help out, just checks his shoulder. Bruno Fernandes looks to win it back. Kobbie Mainoo now collects on the edge of the penalty area. Mainoo in the box, left and right he goes, tries the byline, squeezes it through but can't find Mason Mount, and it's snaffled by Jason Steele diving in front of him. Lovely footwork from Mainoo, but the press from Manchester United, the hero again.
Well, that's what's given them the chance, because they've just waited, and then it's as though they switch that button and say, right, we're going. And Bruno Fernandes was the key there. He went, it cut out by Mainoo. Maybe should have had a shot before he got into the box as advanced.
Minte has managed to get away down the right-hand side. Diogo Dalot trying to defend this now from the full-back position. Casemiro steps in and takes it away from the Gambian. One back though, Minte into the penalty area, looks to get a cross away, and that's hit the corner flag.
Well, he's clearing the corner, but definitely wasn't. Great intervention by Casemiro, who we've just been talking about.
Such a calm tackle,
just came back and nicked it off his toes, didn't it?
Lovely job, Lee. More of that, please. Casemiro. Anana. Short pass to Mainoo on the edge of the 18-yard box, finds Maguire. Had an awful lot to say about Harry Maguire in this game so far, which is a good sign for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes brings the ball down on the edge of the centre circle. He's quickly swallowed up by a couple of Brighton defenders, but he does brilliantly well to try and find a way through. And now Manchester have the ball in the final third. It's given away to Brighton, and now it's back with Steele, and Marcus Rashford maybe just guilty of trying to force a pass through an avenue that was blocked with blue and white striped shirts. Now it's with Milner, right-hand side. Forward it goes. Brighton going left to right in this first 45 minutes. Manchester United the opposite direction. Mainoo finds Fernandes. Fernandes finds Casemiro. Casemiro is going to try and play this through for Marcus Rashford to get on the end of. Just a little bit too much on it from Casemiro. Marcus Rashford realises he's not going to get there, so checks his run and returns to the halfway line.
Yeah, it was just overhit, wasn't it? He just needed sliding just in between the two defenders, and he just overhit it, Casemiro. And he looks up to the sky in sort of dismay, really, that he knows that he should have done better with it.
Yeah, that's on though. That ball from Casemiro to Marcus Rashford is on. It's just getting the pacing right, especially on this slick surface that Andy Ritchie's already mentioned here on MUTV. Veltman.
As we discussed, probably should have taken it with the right foot instead of the left.
Yeah, he's
or
tried
even
to
headed it.
instep it with the left foot as it was being whipped in from the left-hand side, and both Ben Thornley and Andy Ritchie suggesting that maybe if you cushion that with your right foot, you end up with a different outcome. Ball is away down the right-hand side.
It's not often that we agree, you know, me and Ben Thornley.
Well, look, I am the peacemaker. Bring people together.
Kofi Annan.
Well, no. Far better at it than I am.
Only a joke. We do agree a lot.
Yeah, I was being facetious about being a peacemaker. I'm a nightmare. 20 minutes played. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. This is Joel Veltman. Comes back to JP Van Hecke, Jean-Paul Van Hecke. And now back is absolutely pouring down.
Dripping stands, isn't it?
Running in rivers off the roof. That's a lovely ball out to the right-hand side, and Joel Veltman has options in the middle. He's found the first one, is Joao Pedro. Pedro, what a tackle. That is Kobbie Mainoo. Slides in, nicks the ball away, then Bruno Fernandes just gets caught as he's trying to clear the ball away by Karim Mitoma, and the referee is going to say no foul, but it is a Manchester United throw-in. Oh no, it's a Brighton throw-in over on that far side. Well, Craig Pawson is given neither the free kick or the throw-in, so United have to do it themselves. Win the ball back with Mason Mount. Mount goes out to the right-hand side, and Ahmad attacking the penalty area. A couple of players around him, cuts in between two. What he did so well in pre-season. Lays this off to Bruno Fernandes. Lovely turn from Kobbie Mainoo. Finds Casemiro. Casemiro lays this off now to Lisandro Martinez. And now Ahmad back to Martinez. Leacher looking, slides it to Bruno Fernandes, who tries to flick it round the corner to Rashford. Rashford back in field to Bruno Fernandes. There is a handball in there twice. At least 2 handballs in there from Joel Veltman.
He's laughing about it as well, isn't he?
Somehow he's trying to protest his innocence. There's the first one from Veltman. Yeah. There's the rugby tackle. And then another scoop. He just scoops the ball with his hand and moves it away.
He managed to get the
JP. Card,
he managed to get the JP on it, just didn't manage to sign Veltman.
Yeah.
Should have been booked. Should have been booked. Was he booked? I don't think he was. But the referee...
I mean, there were 2 blatant handballs from Joel Veltman.
Now, all about delivery.
Well, Manchester United set-piece coach will be watching carefully. Andreas Georgsson.
Well, he's dangerous, isn't he? The man that's pointing there, we've just seen a picture in front of us, Casemiro. He is dangerous from these type of free kicks. We've seen him get up and above. Should have probably had a couple maybe the other night.
It's Ahmad that delivers. It's a great ball too. What a header it is. Casemiro that gets there to nod it goalwards.
He's having a go at Ahmad, saying that it should have been lower and in front of him.
Yeah.
But actually, I think if he leaves this, Harry Maguire's got an even better chance of heading it. There's a ball, he's just that little bit too high for Casemiro. He's just straining that little bit. Then there's Dalot and Maguire behind them, both of them free.
I think that's obviously a set-piece routine, and Casemiro is always supposed to be the intended target there.
Maybe.
And you've got dummy runners in Dalot and Maguire that are dragging people away at the back post. It's almost perfect, except it's just a bit too high when it arrives on Casemiro's forehead. And actually what he wants is that whipped in behind and a little bit lower so he can attack it with his feet.
Yeah, well, that's why he was having a go at Ahmad.
Yep. Standards. Holding people to the standards that you require. Brighton on the attack inside the Manchester United half, out on the right-hand side with Minte. Minte with a lovely ball into Milner. Milner tries to get the cross away, but it comes only to Kobbie Mainoo, who gets the ball clear. Pushed back down the right-hand side by Brighton. Out of play it goes, will be a Manchester United throw midway inside their own half on their left-hand side, which Diogo Dalot now has in his hands. Throw-in comes to find Lisandro Martinez. Back it comes to Andre Onana. Manchester United are building from the back again. And it's been a really good 25 minutes, really. They've defended well, they've attacked well, they've had opportunities, Manchester United, and they have limited Brighton to pot shots from 35 yards.
Well, there's a long ball that's had to be struck by Onana, and Ahmad gets the flick on, nobody reacting to it. You've got to think that if he's going to win it, even if he doesn't, just expect him to win it and take a chance.
It's a lovely slide tackle coming from Mazraoui to intercept the through ball. It was one of those really dangerous looking balls into the penalty area that had runners on it, but Mazraoui was sharp, alive and aware, slides in, nicks the ball away, and Manchester United back in possession, left-hand side with Lisandro Martinez. Casemiro's dropped in as a third centre-half at the moment, so it's a back three for Manchester United. Casemiro smashes a crossfield ball directly onto the chest of Nous Mazraoui. And now Ahmad just having to evade a challenge or two, so he's back inside his own half, lays this off to Harry Maguire, and Manchester United have it on the edge of the centre circle, dead centre of the field, and this is moved out left-hand side. Diogo Dalot returns it to Lisandro Martinez. Bruno Fernandes chips a ball over the top for Mason Mount to chase onto. Here's a good position for United. Mason Mount with a lovely turn. Short ball infield to Diogo Dalot. Back it comes to Mason Mount. Mount's going to give it back to Bruno Fernandes. Outside of the boot from Bruno Fernandes as he tries to get the cross in. Clatters against the Brighton defender, and out it goes for a United ball.
Great movement from Manchester United. A superb ball down the line. Mason Mount cutting inside. I thought he maybe could have gone himself, but he turned back in, gave it to Bruno Fernandes, and he was just trying to whip it in with the outside of his right foot into the box and the oncoming Manchester United players, but it just got cut out and it's gone out for a corner on this near side.
Trusts the outside of his right boot more than he trusts the left boot there, Bruno Fernandes. Short corner taken to Ahmad. Back it comes to Fernandes, goes outside of the boot again. It's scythed across the penalty area, picked up by Casemiro at the back post. Everybody's onside. Back in it comes from Mason Mount, but cannot be Met, Casemiro wins this back, pushes it back in the penalty area. Harry Maguire cushions the header to Diogo Dalot. Dalot whips one, it's just over the top. Well, Diogo Dalot's got that in his locker, we know he has, we've seen him scoring before, and that one is just a bit too high.
Yeah, good pressure again from Manchester United, winning the ball back. Harry Maguire thinking he might be able to get a free kick, but it's not being seen by the referee, or he's ignored it. It comes out to Dalot, just one touch out onto the right-hand side, and he just whips it just a little bit too much.
It was dipping, there's no doubt about it, just not enough from the Portuguese. Had a conversation with Diogo Dalot after the game last week, and I was really impressed with his attitude towards his role as one of the senior players in this Manchester United side at the moment. He knows how important it is for him to be a leader out on that field, and I think we're seeing him growing into that responsibility more and more.
Well, I've always thought that you see what you get, or you get what you see, if you like, from Diogo Dalot. Always gives 100%. He's now, well, listen, he's an international player, so he should feel as though he's got the you know, within him to be one of those players that people look up to. But I think more by the way he plays, he leads in that respect than maybe being vociferous. So he still is, but I think the way he actually plays the game sets the example for some of the other players and the younger players.
Totally agree. That's a ball forward towards Marcus Rashford, who made the run. Van Hecke, though, just gets his body in the way to prevent it from sliding through to the Manchester United number 10. Brighton bringing the ball the opposite direction. Right-footed ball up and over the top. Looking for Minte, but finding only Diogo Dalot, who gets it back to Nana. And Nana will not be hurried by the on-rushing Gambian, and just calmly fires a ball upfield. Then there's a foul given against Mason Mount, is that? It's a Brighton free kick. Andy Ritchie's got his hand on his head, and I've got a puzzled look on my face.
I'd have to have a look at that again, because I just don't know what happened there. For me, Mason Mount gets his foot in front of James Milner, gets the ball. James Milner can't go anywhere. It's just a good challenge for me, and the referee gives it to Brighton.
I'm inclined to agree. That's a foul.
Yeah, definitely.
From Diogo Dalot, who has a bit of a swipe after the ball has gone, and the referee gives that free kick. One was more deserved than the previous one.
But as you say, Manchester United have done well in this first half. The press has been really good. I think probably what the manager might say, and we're still a way off from half-time, and so that might change, is just let's make more of the opportunities in the box, because we haven't done. They've kept Matoma very quiet. Missouri has done really well with him.
Dangerous looking challenge, but it's come for Manchester United. It's fallen well. Ahmad attacking, going to send this out to Marcus Rashford. Rashford slightly behind the play. Manages to retrieve the ball up to the edge of the penalty area, thinks about going left, thinks about going right, then has the ball just taken away from him, so he chases after it to regain possession. Lovely pass back in field by Marcus Rashford, finds Ahmad. Ahmad is just tracking across the edge of the penalty area. Lovely inside out ball to Mainu. Mainu is offside, and the flag goes up. The free kick goes Brighton's way, and Manchester United see an opportunity slide by the wayside.
Well, just been talking about that, Liam. They've got to make better use of this. Ahmad, terrible ball, knocks it 5 yards behind Marcus Rashford, has to knock it in between the two defenders, tries to knock it to him behind the defenders, and it's a horrible ball. And that's what I'm saying, you've got to, when you get chances like that, 3 against 2, you've got to take them.
Minte, edge of the penalty area, up against Casemiro, loses out again. Casemiro has been imperious in that situation. Bruno Fernandes has been strong in that one. He's come away with the ball. Rashford trying to give this back to Bruno Fernandes, but Fernandes was always in sort of second place to get on the end of that one, and goes to the ground. Brighton bringing the ball away.
I've got to say, that's a terrible ball that Marcus Rashford gives back to Bruno Fernandes. He's got to turn away with it, Marcus. Don't play it back into him where there's 3 players.
Joao Pedro with the delivery into the penalty area, comes all the way through. Mitoma, back post, going to try and get it back across. It's been turned home by Danny Welbeck, and Manchester United are behind. 31 minutes have been absolutely brilliant for the Reds, and their first opportunity, Brighton score, and it's the former Manchester United man, Danny Welbeck, to make it 2-2. Brighton 1, United 0.
Well, right at the start of this, I don't know what Harry Maguire's doing, because the ball comes across and all he has to do is clear it, and he leaves it. Whether he got a shout from the goalkeeper, I've no idea. But Manchester United, Harry Maguire is on our TV screen at the moment, and his head is shaking, and he said he couldn't get the ball. We're just seeing the ball again now played in. Let's just see if he can get it. I think he can. The ball's played in. He can easily get that ball. Not a chance that he cannot have and swing a leg at that. And I don't know what he's doing, just leaves it. Picked up on the far side by Matona, yeah. The first one, he's got to get that first one. Now, whether he's talking about that or the second one, because he tried to get a toe to the second ball that Matona put across before Welbeck just scuffs it over the line. But the first ball, no doubt he could get away with that.
Manchester United trying at the opposite end here to make something work. Ahmad's going to get this into the penalty area. Rashford, what a save! What a save! No, it's in! Brilliant initial save from Jason Steele. Marcus Rashford scores, but the flag goes up and the offside goes against Manchester United, and unfortunately it will not count. Well, what a ball from Mazraoui. Is Rashford behind the ball there?
Well, it's this ball now.
Yeah, he's off. It just off. Header is saved, and then it flicks up off the heel of Rashford as he's sprawled on the floor, not intentional, and carries it past the stricken Steele.
Well, the VAR
yeah,
in
they
this.
are having a little look here. Yeah, no, offside has been given. No goal.
Well, it'd be interesting to see the VAR thing, you know, the actual lines, because, excuse me, well, it must have been very marginal.
These semi-automated offsides are what's being used this season, and what they do when they check now is that they check that the computer has drawn the point from the right position. So
Most right hand didn't hit it really the way he wanted to, Minte, and it was an easy save for Onana. But that is really gut-wrenching for Manchester United, because they have played, and I think been the better side this first half up to now.
I think you're probably right, Andy Ritchie. Meanwhile, Manchester United back in possession and trying to work their way forward. Casemiro collects in midfield. Shouts of handball go up. Referee's not going to give that. Back with Harry Maguire. Maguire comes across to Lisandro Martinez. Now down the left it goes again. Mason Mount looks to put a ball into the penalty area. Van Hecke sliding in, puts the ball behind for a corner.
Yeah, he had to slide in as well, because if that had gone past him, I think it might have been Marcus Rashford 1-1, because it was a great ball as well down the line from Fernandes. Lovely run again. Mason Mount, who has been impressive in the game against Fulham and again today, just couldn't get that ball in. Good intervention from Van Hecke.
Bruno Fernandes with the delivery towards the back.
Van Hecke.
Bruno Fernandes with the delivery towards the back post. Marcus Rashford doesn't get there ahead of Billy Gilmour, who flicks it out of play. Out for a throw far side.
Oh, we're just seeing Erik ten Hag on the sideline, and he's not looking too happy. I'm sure he won't be with the scoreline, but Manchester United have played well up until that final third and have been wasteful with one. Here's
Bruno Fernandes in the penalty area, lays this off to Mason Mount with the effort, and it's spilled by Steele, but nobody close enough to him to cause him a problem once it had been spilled. Marcus Rashford just slightly on his heels and can't latch on to the end of it.
You've got to expect him to lose that. You've got to expect him to spill it. Just follow everything in. Great move again. Good run from Bruno Fernandes into the box. Casemiro with the pass. He just, as he controlled it behind him instead of just controlling it in front of him. Bruno Fernandes would have been able to have a shot, but he had to lay it off to Mason Mount. It was a good, hard, low shot, and it was spilled by the keeper. You've got to follow those things in.
Ball is with Van Hecker on the edge of the 18-yard box. Comes back to the goalkeeper, Jason Steele. United pressing. They are trailing by a goal to nil, Manchester United, but I would suggest it's unjustly so. They have been the better side for the almost higher half, and then one moment of falling asleep has cost them a goal. Ball from the left-hand side for Brighton goes all the way across goal and is out of play on that far side.
Yeah, Matoma just twisting and turning, trying to put the ball in. He's saying that it was a throw-in for Brighton, that he got a touch off Mazuri, but it didn't. And, Mazraoui, sorry. I'll get it right in a minute, Liam. I don't know why I want to keep saying Mazuri.
Like the US state.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Mazraoui.
Yeah, okay. Sure, you're right.
I mean, I'm just reading it.
I have to change these glasses.
7 minutes to go until we get to the half-time interval. Manchester United with the throw-in on this near side. Diogo Dalot with the ball in his hands, just waiting for somebody to make an option. It's Mainu that is wrestled to the ground by Gilmour, and the free kick goes Manchester United's way. And then Gilmour picks the ball up and he's given a little nudge in the back to give the ball back. Harry Maguire. Back to Mazraoui. Well done by Ahmad, but the pass from Ahmad is too short for Casemiro. Well intercepted by Mazraoui. Ahmad again in possession. Mazraoui takes over, Ahmad takes over again, but there's not a lot of room, so Mason Mount just having to do some fleet footwork to try and get himself out of that situation. Does brilliantly well to find Harry Maguire. Lisandro Martinez, Marcus Rashford. Rashford on halfway, knocks it past his man and goes. Veltman just slows him down. That's a lovely ball from Rashford, looking for Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes has done brilliantly against Van Hecker. Van Hecker, though, does brilliantly against Bruno Fernandes, just shrugs him off. One back by Lisandro Martinez. Marcus Rashford finds Casemiro. Rashford gets tumbled to the ground. Bruno Fernandes going to try and float one towards the back post, and Amad Diallo. Rashford still down. It's a clear foul on Marcus Rashford that the referee hasn't given, and United will be a little bit upset, because I'm sure they would have taken the free kick in that position.
Yeah, a little bit aggrieved, I'm sure, but, you know, the referee has played advantage, and you have to go with that. I would have said, yeah, OK, it is advantage, but the ball in, trying to pick out Diallo at the back stick, not the tallest of the Manchester United players, and again, the keeper Steele coming out, an easy cross for him to take out the air. But Manchester United, they can't be too down on themselves, because, as we've said, they've really pressed well. They've had some really good movement from players, and balls been put through. Bruno Fernandes nearly getting on the end of that one just before Marcus Rashford was fouled. But yeah, they've just got to take heart from it and not be too disappointed. Got to be better in the final third.
Brighton on the attack the other direction. This is Minte. Minte into the penalty area, tries to get the ball across. Lovely intervention from Kobbie Mainoo, eventually cleared away by Casemiro. It's good defensive work from Manchester United for the most part. Cross goal, Maguire can't get to it, and it's turned home by Danny Welbeck. Brighton in possession on halfway right-hand side. Across it goes to Lewis Dunk. Again, that Manchester United press is working really well, just haven't managed to convert the press into a goal. Minte chasing after this one. Gets there, Diogo Dalot re-engages, prevents him from getting any further. Good defending from Diogo Dalot. Bruno Fernandes looking to try and run away from the danger. Slide tackle comes in from Van Hecke. Marcus Rashford dispossessed.
And there, what you just said there, Liam, about converting that good press and good football into goals, that is the key, isn't it? That's the hardest thing to do in football, is score goals, and score goals very, very consistently. And you would say probably Manchester United should have had 2.
Yeah,
definitely one.
Definitely one. And they've had the ball in the back of the net too that was ruled out for offside.
Yeah.
They are very much in the game, Manchester United. This is Lewis Dunk. Midway inside his own half, comes square to Van Hecke. Goes back to Jason Steele. Steele, the goalkeeper, finds Van Hecke. Manchester United just a couple of minutes away from half-time, trailing by 1-0. That Danny Welbeck goal, the difference between the two sides. But actually, it is a successful first 45 minutes for Manchester United in terms of performance. Just the scoreline that's not going their way at the moment. Launched forward by Dunk. Milner collects, tries to lift this forward. Rashford has tracked that all the way back. He's done a really good job there, Marcus Rashford, to make that run, that defensive run. Dalot, Mainu just gets himself in a pickle. He's clearly pulled to the ground by Veltman too. I don't know how that isn't a free kick. Referee Craig Pawson has allowed that to go. Ball is into the penalty area. It's a dangerous position too. It's going to be held up by Andre Onana, and all of that comes after what should have been a free kick for Manchester United.
The only way I think that he's not given the free kick is that Mainu lost the ball. He tried to flick it inside. He was never going to get to it, even if he wasn't fouled, because there was a Brighton player coming onto that ball. That's the only reason I can think he didn't give the foul, because it definitely was a foul after the event.
Who says that he wasn't going to get there? Certainly wouldn't have been an easy pass away, would it, if he'd been allowed to keep his feet. Ahmad attacking down the right-hand side. Would be a lovely time to score this for Manchester United. Fighting for it, and is adjudged to have fouled Kaoru Mitoma, and the free kick is given Brighton's way.
Well, there was a lot of talk, wasn't there, about Ahmad pre-season. Done really well, very positive, attacking players, scoring good goals. And I've got to say, against Fulham, I was a little bit disappointed with him after the initial start that I thought was quite bright. And there, I think he's just got to trust himself, go at him, do that little, get that little bit of magic, get into the box and get that strike off. Just seems a little bit timid at the moment. I don't know why. He shouldn't be, because his confidence must have been fantastically high after coming off the pre-season he had.
It's a lovely header back to the goalkeeper from Lisandro Martinez. Andre Onana is going to try and get Ahmad away down the right-hand side. That's a direct ball to Ahmad. Ahmad brings it under control in the space between the touchline and the 18-yard box. Finds himself a little bit of room, but then the pass from Ahmad's not good enough. Maguire, though, wins that back, steps in, makes the challenge, deflects away. Will be a Manchester United throw-in over on that far side for Mazraoui to take, which he does so quickly. Comes back to Andre Onana on the edge of the centre circle. Referee says that's enough of that. We've played just a minute of time added on at the end of the first half, and Manchester United will head down the tunnel at the Amex, trailing by 1-0. That goal scored by Danny Welbeck. Manchester United switching off for just a moment, and they were punished heavily despite being the better side for 95% of that first 45 minutes. Ahmad will think he should have scored, Marcus Rashford will think he should have scored, and Mason Mount has had an opportunity too, but at the break it's Manchester United who are behind. Brighton 1, Manchester United 0. Andy Ritchie.
Yeah, disappointing in terms of the the finishing in the final third. That's all that's really been missing in that first half. Defensively, I think Harry Maguire could have got that ball that was first put in. He should have cleared it. He didn't do for some inexplicable reason. But we've got to take the positives out of that. If we can play as well as we did in this first half, in the second half, and get those chances taken, we'll be cruising.
Right, OK, we are at the break and we are going to do as much analysis as we possibly can. We'll get you back to the studio with Helen, Danny and Phil after the break.
expect to score, obviously difficult chances, but I thought I was in, like I say, in control of the game, and you know, we got done on the counter-attack, and you know, disappointing to go into half-time 1 down.
It's not the start that you want. Of course, we could have got it back with Marcus Rashford, but it was quite clearly offside when we saw the replay. What did you make of the first half in total, though?
Yeah, like what Phil says, I think you just mentioned there with Marcus Rashford, I think, you know, them moments, especially away from home in the Premier League, you know, these games are tough wherever you go now. And then just, you know, just try and stay on side, you know, because you might only get that chance in that whole game and you know, you get the team back into it at the time. But no, I think, I said that defensively for that goal, they could have done a lot better. But it's what I expected from Brighton, you know, good control, possession, moving it well, putting the ball into dangerous areas. We just need to probably come good at us to half time. We probably needed that because Brighton started to get on top. I thought we started well. So I think the half time is much needed for us. That Ten Hag going to speak to the boys, maybe change one or two things because we've got to come out second half a lot better than the way we finished it.
And of course, as I said before, we did talk about Danny Welbeck, probably too much. We know what he's capable of. 100 career goals, though, is an absolutely incredible stat for him, and it had to be him, didn't it?
No, great achievement. Like I say, we spoke about him before the game and the threat he possesses. I think if you look at any top strikers, they always find themselves between the sticks of the goal.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's not really done too much to score a goal. I think obviously the defender, I think Martinez was the wrong side of him. He should have been tucked inside. It all happened a little bit quick, a bit frantic, but you've got to defend your 6-yard box as a defender. Centre half, you've got to be next to the centre forward, and you know, Danny's found himself in acres of space there and slotted home, which is unfortunate, as I felt it was against run of play.
5 goals for him against Manchester United. Let's have a little look at how the stats turned out after that first half. As you said, Phil, you thought we controlled particularly the first 30 minutes of the game, and the possession would agree with what you're saying as well, 54 to 46. And shots, 5 but 1 on target. What do you think of the overall stats there?
Yeah, I think obviously you look at the stats of possession. We knew it was going to be a game of possession, and I think from our point of view, I think we've looked good. We've not let them play too much. We've been on the front foot. Just key moments in games where we've
games. He needed games. He had a good pre-season. So he'll just be delighted that he starts getting minutes. So hopefully he stays on, and I don't mind him off the left because he can cut in and link.
The manager be saying there at half-time in the changing room, Phil. The manager be saying there at half-time in the changing room, Phil.
A little bit more of the same in terms of the first half an hour. Like I said, we thought we had control of it. The possession was good without causing Brighton too many problems. Obviously 3 or 4 attempts on goal.
Just taking those chances, isn't it, the final
like
third?
we spoke about earlier in the show there, just taking your chances, being more clinical in that final third. Players being a little bit more selfish in areas in around the box, getting a shot off. Something you don't really see enough of, I don't think, when teams, or especially us, get in around the box in good positions. Just Bruno will do it, but the wide players, you like to see them get a cut inside and get them shots off more. I just think you've got a chance of scoring, trying to hit the target. And we try and play interlink and like little clever passes, which is all well and good, but when you need a goal, you've got to try and shoot.
We can see the players in the tunnel there, and in fact, Marcus Rashford is to our commentary team, Andy Ritchie and Liam.
Thank you very much, Helen. Yeah, we're waiting to find out exactly what's occurring, but I would imagine it won't be too long until we see some changes. Erik ten Hag doesn't like to make those changes at the half-time. He likes to sort of give everybody a chance to get things back under control. And let's have it absolutely right, Andy Ritchie, they played really well, this Manchester United side, for the majority of that first half.
Yeah, I mean, there's just one lapse of concentration, wasn't there? And it cost them a goal, and that seems to be what is happening to us too often, really. Yeah, listen, I think there will be changes, but I don't think just at the moment. Xerxes has been out all, the half-time break, really warming up. I think it'll be maybe a 15-minute period, and I think the manager then will make a decision whether he comes on. I was impressed with him against Fulham when he came on. Really cute goal, but I think he gave us something a little bit different in terms of coming off defenders, getting that little bit of a pocket and a gap, and being able to know who's behind him, when he can turn, when he can't. He impressed me actually in his little cameo role. Great to get a goal, gives him the utmost confidence. But Manchester United, yeah, well, it looks as though he might be coming on straight away. Just looking at the people coming out through the tunnel, I didn't really miss anybody. So let's just have a look who it's going to be. The only person I think it might be Diallo. I think it might be Diallo.
It's Mason Mount.
It's Mason Mount.
Yeah, it's
wow.
Mason Mount. So Mason Mount makes way. Josh Xerxes on, scored of course on his debut last time out, and I think that's probably more a personnel thing than a players, sort of that 9.5 that he talks about. We are underway in the second half at the Amex Stadium, and Brighton having an early foray forward, and James Milner edge of the penalty. James Milner edge of the penalty area. He's going to have a go. He lifts it over the top, but that is not the start that Manchester United will have wanted.
No, definitely not. We've had a couple of those, haven't we, where we've come out in the second half thinking, right, listen, we've had a really good positive first half, and we've gone a goal behind, or someone has got a second goal, and that was close to it. Really off target from Milner, expecting him to at least make make a save there. That's still a little bit not bemused, but I don't know why Mason might have been an injury. You don't know. Hopefully not, but didn't look as though he took an injury in the first half. Yeah, we've just been praising how well he's been playing, but Xerxes has done really well when he came on. Has done really well when he is challenging up the final third. Alejandro Garnacho, we're just seeing him on the bench, rubbing his hands, keeping warm, or trying to keep warm in this terrible weather we've got down at Brighton. He's just been told by Erik ten Hag there on our pictures on the screen to go and have a warm-up.
Harry Maguire in possession on the edge of the centre circle. Comes across to Lisandro Martinez. Martinez finds Dalot. Dalot looks to work it down that left-hand side. It goes out of play. And Manchester United unable to keep that from rolling over the touchline. So, Alejandro Garnacho warming up. So too Matthias de Ligt. Throw in still hasn't been taken by Brighton. We're waiting for that to come in. Now it's there, and Manchester United step out with Diogo Dalot, make a challenge and concede a throw in 10 yards inside their own half. United going from left to right. In goal, Dalot, Martinez, Maguire and Mazraoui, Mainu and Casemiro, Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Ahmad, and in goal, Veltman, Dunk, Van Heckel in goal, Veltman, Dunk, Van Hecke and Hinchel, Minte, Pedro, Mitoma and the goal scorer Danny Welbeck. United going left to right in this second 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Clothesline, like a wrestling move on Diogo Dalot. A clothesline.
Brighton win it now and have it with Lewis Dunk inside the Manchester United half. Centrally now to Jean-Paul Van Hecke. 5 minutes gone in this second half. Brighton still through. Good opportunity, and it's off the line. Really good opportunity that for Brighton. Diogo Dalot was there to clear the ball. And it was good play that by Brighton, who come forward again with João Pedro, and this time Harry Maguire. back there to play the ball out on the far side, but that was good play by James Milner, who managed. The ball was fed through.
about timing of movement in behind. James Milner sensing when that little ball was set back. He makes that run in behind, and it's a lovely slided pass from Billy Gilmore, but because the timing of the movement is right, there's nothing Diallo can do, and it's a clear foul. And when Milner gets his body across him, he drags him back by his shirt. Again, another opportunity for Brighton.
When he started his first season for Leeds United, Amad Diallo wasn't even born. James Milner, though, has won the free kick down this left-hand side. And he's going to take the free kick, or he may well leave this to Minte, because it could be a decent outswing of this actually for a left footer. There is a collection of Brighton shirts on the back edge of the 6-yard box, just lurking with intent.
There's Hinchwood at the edge of the box, free as a bird.
And on the edge of the D, Billy Gilmore is waiting too. Everybody in Manchester United red inside the area. Minte with the delivery into Welbeck, he rises and hits the top of the crossbar, back in by Matoma, away by Maguire, headed down by Welbeck, and he can't believe he hasn't got a second goal. Brilliant cross from Minte. Welbeck rose brilliantly inside the box above absolutely everybody. It was a terrific header. Maguire didn't get anywhere near him, and he thumped the crossbar.
That is a lovely header from Danny Welbeck. Gets up really, really early, and he doesn't try and get as much power on the header. He just tries to guide it into that far corner, and he does everything right, but just gets maybe a little bit too much on it. And I mean, he directs it perfectly, and it just hits the other side of the bar. But his movement to get in between the two centre halves and just guide it into that far corner. Great delivery from Minton, great header from Welbeck, but just unfortunately gets a little bit too much on it.
Danny Welbeck, who has been a real threat, and that was a brilliant opportunity for the former Manchester United man, who's on the ball linking the play again over on the right side. He gives it back to Milner. Milner tries to send it in behind, and Minte's running, and there was just enough of a touch from Diogo Dalot, which took it away from Yankuba Minte, the Gambian international. And it runs in the end all the way back through to Onana, and Onana will attempt to clear under pressure, but there's more zip about Brighton in this second half. Ball out wide towards Amad Diallo. He tries to take it infield. Worth pointing out, I think, that actually the way that they organise their offside trap, Brighton, is a real menace, I think, for Manchester United to try and exploit, because they're all very much in sync.
Do you know what, they are in sync, and it is, I mean, it's a well...
Amad might have beaten that now. He goes down the right side, gets better of Hinchwood, cuts in left-footed, steers it towards the far corner. Van Hecker slides in, and it goes past the goalkeeper and in. And the equaliser comes about because Amad Diallo just held his run, went at the right time, got into the penalty area, put Jack Hinchwood on the floor, drove his shot goalward, got a little bit fortunate that Van Hecker was sliding in, and he deflected it beyond Jason Still, and it's Brighton 1, Manchester United 1.
And that's what I mean by, it's tight, it's really tight. I don't know if he's going to be offside or not, but that is really, really tight. But that's what I'm talking about. If you time your runs better, you'll get more opportunities, because yes, they are really well drilled, this Brighton backline, but if you keep running in straight lines, you'll run offside.
Amad Diallo points to the badge of Manchester United, and meanwhile Van Hecker waits for VAR to measure this. Now it looks incredibly tight. I mean, this is one of those that will be cleared up a lot quicker when we get semi-automated offside, but I think he's onside. They're still checking for a possible offside, but I don't think it is. Do you?
I'm not sure. I think he's leaning. I think potentially it could be onside.
Yeah, he's onside. I think he's onside, and it's going to stay. Yeah, I think so. I think they're communicating that. Yeah, it is. It's going to stay. Well, that was rather unhelpful from the monitor in front of us, because we were having a very good look at the way they were putting the lines on, and then it took them off. And we were like, hold on a second, we want to watch that bit. Which is a little bit frustrating. 1-1 the score. Amad Diallo getting the equaliser for Manchester United at a good time as well, right on the hour mark on Talk Sport. And it is 1-1 on the South Coast, and all to play for once again. All to play for throughout the course of the afternoon on Talk Sport, as we take you around the grounds with Adrian Durham from 2:30. Let's start our team news roundup with Troy Deeney and Alex Crook, who's at Tottenham Hotspur against Everton.
No Solanke nor Bentancur for Spurs. In comes summer signing Wilson Odobert for his debut. Ibasuma and Kulusevski also start, and with a host of defenders unavailable, Everton hand a Premier League debut to 19-year-old academy product Roman Dixon. It's Tottenham against Everton.
Manchester United on the attack. The ball's gone out on this near side. Amad Diallo is getting the better of Hinshelwood, but not Billy Gilmore, who covers the ground brilliantly to scurry back into the left full-back zone to cover the charge of Amad Diallo. He'd actually come out on this near side, gone out of the perimeter of the playing surface and ran down the touchline to come back in and get them back on the front foot. João Pedro fighting with Lisandro Martinez. Is a foul on this near side. It's going to go Brighton's way, so we'll go off to Selhurst Park. No Joachim Andersen today for Oliver Glasmer's men. So who plays at centre-half, Alfie Reynolds?
Well, it's a debut for Shady Riyad at the back. That's one of 3 changes for Palace, with Lerma and Edouard also coming in. Mark Gahey does start, and Jordan Ayew, like Anderson, is absent with a transfer pending, whilst West Ham United are unchanged. 3 o'clock kickoff, Crystal Palace against West Ham.
They can't afford to lose Gahey as well as Anderson, can they?
And obviously they're talking about Eze as well potentially. So yeah, you're right. It did shock me that he went Anderson and Gahey, Newcastle pursuing him as well. But I mean, the back end of last season, Palace were fantastic.
Cool. Anderson has ended up at Craven Cottage, and so has Sam Ellard.
Yeah, Fulham unchanged from their opening day defeat against Manchester United. Joachim Andersen and Sander Berger signed in the week, both not in the squad today. As for Leicester, they're also unchanged from the team that drew with Tottenham on Monday night. So Jamie Vardy leads the line once again. New boys Jordan Ayew and Oliver Skipp on the bench. Fulham-Leicester, 3 o'clock kickoff.
And off to Ian Abrahams, who's watching at St Mary's, Nottingham Forest's visit.
Are unchanged. It means Adam Armstrong makes his 400th career appearance. Mikulenkovic and Anderson come in for Forest. Bolly and Danilo, who was injured last week, are the ones to drop out.
Alejandro Garnacho comes on for Marcus Rashford back here at the Amex Stadium. And as Manchester United make an attacking substitution, we've got live commentary on Talk Sport 2 of Manchester City against Ipswich, and team news comes from your commentator Ian Danta.
No changes for Manchester City starting lineup from the win at Chelsea, but Phil Foden is out of the squad altogether, and Gundogan is back at the club and back on the City bench. 3 changes for Ipswich after their defeat to Liverpool. Muric comes in against his old club in goal. Johnson replaces the injured Burns, and Smodics makes his debut in for Chaplin. Live at the Etihad from 2:30 on TalkSport 2, it's Manchester City against Ipswich Town.
By the way, Ian Danta singing Kiss at the TalkSport summer party. Outstanding.
Was it, yeah?
Outstanding. Yeah, star of the show, as you would imagine, as someone who plays in a Kiss tribute band. But you know, I think it was worth a mention. He's on TalkSport 2 with Perry Groves, the great Perry Groves, from 3 o'clock this afternoon as Manchester City entertain Ipswich. What a tough second game that is for Ipswich Town.
Nah, 3 points in the bag, that, trust me.
Says former Ipswich star man Darren Ben. Free kick for Manchester United. Interesting substitution. Rashford coming off and Garnacho coming on. Are you surprised it's taken until Manchester United have got level for them to do that?
Do you know what I am? But the only thing I'd say is that this second half, I mean, he made about 3 or 4 really good runs, Rashford, where he did make the run and bend it and try and get in behind, but the ball didn't come. But again, coming off there, I mean, his body language wasn't great, and Garnacho, point to prove now.
Garnacho has it after linking with Dalot on the Manchester United left as they advance up the pitch. Casemiro with an effort from 20 yards is a little bit over the top, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick. But since that goal, there's been an uplift in Manchester United's performance.
Yeah, they have done, but they've also started as well to time their movement better, because they've now suddenly realised that if we do that, there are chances for us to create opportunities, and it's a different type of problem now for Joel Veltman, because Veltman I thought was quite comfortable, certainly for 60 minutes you'd have to say, but now this Garnacho who's free running behind will cause a real problem. He's going to have to really properly defend now and switch on.
Far side, Van Hecker sends it long, and there's a bit too much space here for James Milner. Now Minte's drifted infield, links with Welbeck on the cusp of the centre circle. Inside that centre circle, a lovely little balletic turn by João Pedro, feeds Hinshelwood edge of the area. Should have released it to Welbeck, just delayed a little bit. Played it left instead to Matoma, who on the edge of the box tries to take on Mazraoui. Gets to the byline, then didn't get the cross in, then turns it back to Hinshelwood once again. He's a bit further out. Centrally is João Pedro. He's dropped deep to flick the ball over the top. Hinshelwood on the chase with Maguire, who went to try and hold him back and then decided against that, and then Hinshelwood couldn't quite keep it in play, and it was cleared by Maguire upfield. Xerxes tries to nudge it out towards Amad Diallo, didn't get enough on it, and it goes out of play and away for a throw-in to Brighton. 1-1 the score on TalkSport as we approach 2 o'clock on this Saturday afternoon. If you're listening to TalkSport, thank you very much for lending us your ears. We've got live coverage this afternoon from Adrian Durham at Southampton, taking you around the grounds. Every goal that goes in, a brilliant goal service. You don't need anything else. Just get the TalkSport app, listen to that every Saturday, and you are fully nourished with all the information that you need. We're at the Amex Stadium, where it's Brighton 1, Manchester United 1 with Sky Sports. Don't forget that you can stream more Sky Sports football than ever before, available with no contract on now. Like Aston Villa versus Arsenal live today, search Now Sports. Here is Mitoma, the Japanese international who scored last week. He was missed so much at the end of last season because of an injury, did Kaoru Mitoma, but he is back in the team today. Couldn't get the better of Mazraoui there, and the ball cleared by Manchester United out towards their left. 1-1 the score.
Xerxes certainly had an impact since he's come on, picking up the loose balls as well, getting on the half turn, trying to feed people in behind, and also his direct running.
Dallo plays a reverse ball into Garnacho, into the penalty area, trying to get to the byline, pulls it across the face of goal. Amad Diallo is there. He runs out of the box backwards rather than forwards, and that allows Brighton just to reset and get into shape. Martinez opens up the pitch with the ball out wide towards Garnacho again. He tries to take on Minte, who's got a bit more to think about as well now, because he's got to help out defensively. Casemiro with a flick back to the edge of the area. It was a poor flick back, but Xerxes prevents Brighton from being able to get away. Simon Adingra is about to come on, I think, for Brighton on this near side. Amad, 2 yards in from the right touchline. The Manchester United support vocal once again away to our right hand side.
They've certainly upped it. Manchester United, there's more zip about their play now. They're now starting to realise that how to hurt this Brighton back line, because for so long it was so comfortable for them, but all of a sudden now Diallo, he's gone up, he's got a real spring in his step. You've got now Dallo's running through the middle of the pitch on his own,
and he's chested the ball down. He's got the better of Veltman. Oh no, he hasn't. Veltman has used his experience just to wait for the flight of the ball to come down, then nab it, then turn it away, and now Brighton can counter-attack, and they've got a 3-on-2 with Welbeck trying to feed the ball out to Minte with men to aim at on the edge of the penalty area. He doesn't pull it back, he decides to go for goal, and that was the wrong decision. It's blocked by Maguire and it's cleared away by Manchester United, and it was a huge mistake actually from Minte, because if he had dropped the ball back towards the edge of the area, he had 3 to aim at. Now Manchester United counter. Amad has been sent through by Bruno Fernandes, and then on the overlap Fernandes has gone back into the centre to the back post, and Garnacho is there to tap it home, and Manchester United have turned it around on the south coast. 2-1 they lead. Alejandro Garnacho with a finish. The referee is being spoken to by James Milner. They may well check this, because there might have been an offside decision here in the middle. If maybe, I think Joshua Xerxes got a touch on that. We'll find out very shortly. Manchester United are celebrating. Ruud van Nistelrooy is over and in the face of the fourth official on this near side to try and find out what is going on.
I mean, it's great play for Manchester United. If it is a goal, it's a really good goal. I mean, Bruno Fernandes times his run perfect. I don't quite know what they're moaning about. I mean, is it Xerxes that puts the ball in the net? Yeah, it is, yes.
If it comes off Xerxes, he's offside.
It is offside, yeah. I mean, Garnacho goes to put it in the empty net, and he gets too much on it, and he ends up hitting Xerxes on the knee.
Offside position.
Yeah.
It's going to be chalked off, this, because he was sliding in, and then he tried to pull out the way, but it hit his knee before it went in the goal. But he was in an offside position when Garnacho had the shot. So even though it was an open goal, there was no way. He literally has done nothing wrong. He can't help himself, but because it's hit him in the goal mouth, he's in an offside position.
Exactly. I mean, it's great play for
Manchester
Manchester United.
He's in front of the ball as well. It's going to be offside.
100%. I mean, Garnacho's got to put it in the empty net anyway. He's not got to hit Xerxes on the line. Then Manchester United 2-1 up. But it's great play from Bruno Fernandes, sliding that ball across to Garnacho and the counter-attack.
So let's just re-explain what's happened here. Amad's picked the ball up from Fernandes, giving it back to Fernandes. Fernandes slipped a brilliant ball right the way through the 6-yard box. Garnacho's coming in the other side. He puts it into an open net, right? But that net is then being challenged by Xerxes, who's sliding in. Now, he is actually in offside position when that ball is kicked by Garnacho, and because it just takes the faintest of touches a millimetre out from the goal, he is in an offside position, so it's no goal.
I mean, Garnacho's probably thinking to himself, why don't I just put it in the empty net anyway? Because I think he almost scuffs it in a little bit too much, and that's why it hit Xerxes. But again, that was devastating for Manchester United on that counter-attack again.
Mazraoui is absolutely furious. Different change now. It won't be Adingra, it will be Carlos Baleba, who comes on for the indefatigable James Milner. And Milner walks over to Baleba and roars in his face.
He's had some career, James Milner, hasn't he? I mean, he's been going for so long. His appearances, he looks fit as a fiddle as he did there today, putting a really good performance. Timed his run, had an opportunity there where if he could have got a little bit more on it, then he would have put Brighton 2-0 up at that moment, but he's had a really, really good game.
He really has. And he's replaced by the Cameroon international, Carlos Baleba. Played 39 games last season for both Brighton and Lille. Came in sort of after the season had started in France for £23 million last year. And he is on the pitch now, as Brighton did get away with one. Bruno Fernandes might get away with one here, or be lucky to get away with one here, because he was late on Jason Steele, as Jason Steele played the ball out from the back.
He's lucky that Jason Steele got straight back up. I mean, I don't think he touches him, because he gets straight up and gives him a little pat on the head. I think that's what saved Bruno Fernandes a booking.
We haven't had a booking yet, have we? Brighton 1, Manchester United 1, 17 to go and all to play for. Bristol City League Coventry, Hull 0, Millwall 0, QPR 1, 10-man Plymouth 1 in the Championship. They all got underway at 12:30, as is the way of things now in the EFL on a Saturday. Ball collected by Minte, into midfield, Gilmour, edge of the D is João Pedro. Didn't spot that Ahmad was coming in behind him, and Ahmad very quickly releases the ball upfield, and Garnacho is running at Van Hecke. He's got 3 or 4 though coming back to help him out, as Jean-Paul Van Hecke. And Garnacho in the end sends it back to Fernandes. Fernandes to Casemiro. Referee says play on because United have got the ball, even though Fernandes felt he was fouled. And Brighton have got back into shape. 17 to go in League One. It's Burton 0, Stevenage 0. Stockport now 2-0 up against Bristol Rovers. 0-0 in League Two between Crewe and Swindon, and Tranmere still lead by a goal to 0. Here is Minte again, driving Brighton forward down the right-hand side. Feeds Welbeck. Across comes Maguire. Gets in ahead of the former England man and tucks the ball out of play and away for a throw-in over on the far side. We had to wait 2 minutes and 8 seconds for that VAR decision. I must admit, once we'd seen the first replay, Darren Bent, it was pretty clear to us that goal had to be ruled out.
100%. I mean, I looked at Erik ten Hag, and even after the decision had been made, he was furious looking at the fourth official, but it was quite clear.
Basic.
It was basic. I mean, he was offside. It's unfortunate. He's probably more annoyed that Garnacho just didn't put it in the empty net, because he scuffs it and hits Xerxes. That's why Manchester United don't find themselves 2-1 up, but again, it was great play from
those with Garnacho in their fantasy team will be a little bit disappointed as well.
Are you one of those?
Yes. Here is Minte over on the far side, feeding João Pedro. Welbeck tries to get it, and he was brought down on the edge of the penalty area by Amad Diallo, and it's going to be a free kick. Just to clarify, that's my fantasy draft team, not the one that you pick on a weekly basis. Obviously, I know that he hasn't started the last 2 games, but you can't ditch a Garnacho when you get that in the draft, right? Okay, there's a couple of games going on here. The producer back at base was giving me a little bit of stick in my ear.
Was he? Yeah.
Finished higher than him in the first week of the season, by the way. Yes, it is a marathon, not a sprint. 1-1 the score, 15 minutes to go, live at the Amex Stadium.
Was it really sharp, Danny Welbeck, drawing the foul from Diallo? Yeah, getting his body in there, winning the ball back for his side, drawing fouls as well. He's done really well. He's hit the bar as well with a really nice header, scored a really good goal.
Yes.
Just looked really sharp, he has.
Also in my draft team.
Oh my God. How many players have you got in this team, by the way? You got the Brighton squad.
I only brought him in yesterday, Danny Welbeck.
So how many points have you got now for your...
Don't worry about that. Let's concentrate on the free kick, because Gilmour is going to take it 5 yards back from the edge of the penalty area. I think they're trying to get Scott McTominay involved. Or is it Matthias de Ligt? They're going to call him back. Yeah, Ruud van Nistelrooy, the Manchester United assistant manager. Goal scorer extraordinary, almost as good a goal scorer as Darren Bent.
Who?
Ruud.
Oh my goodness, you talk about one of the best. What?
He was terrific.
Oh, I promise you, he's one of those them centre forwards we don't talk about enough.
Yeah. Gilmour to take the free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Minte is standing over it as well. There is a 4-man Manchester United wall, and Garnacho as a draft excluder laying down behind it. They're a little bit concerned here, I think, Manchester United, because this is a great distance. It's literally 4 yards outside the box, and it's a shade right of centre. Gilmour steps up left-footed straight into the wall, didn't make the most of it, sent it wide to Hinshelwood, who recycles the ball to the far post. João Pedro gets up with a header and sends it into the near corner, and it's grabbed by Onana. And an easy save. McTominay and de Ligt about to come on for Manchester United. 1-1 the score on the south coast. Here's Garnacho far side as they look to get up the pitch. Veltman ain't having any of those sort of tricks. easily won it. And it's going to be a free kick against Kobe Mainu here. It might be our first yellow card for dragging down Baleba. And we might get our changes now. Julio Enciso is about to come on. I mean, they've got some attacking talent, haven't they, Brighton and Hove Albion? When you look through their squad, it's pretty impressive, just the sheer number of players that they've got to call upon. I know that Paul Barber told Jim and Simon this week that they spent big in the last window, or this current window, because they've sold big over the course of the last few years. But the depth of the attacking talent is something else. Brighton started last week with a bloke who scored in each of the last 15 Premier League seasons, Japan's best player, a free £35 million winger, and they bought on an AFCON winner. And they're just about to bring on the guy who finished second in the Pushcast Award the year before last.
Honestly, I mean, the strength and depth that they've shown over the last couple of seasons, the recruitment has been second to none. It's been fantastic.
Danny Welbeck being replaced by Julio Enciso for the last 12 minutes of the game. And by the way, I haven't mentioned the fact that Evans Ferguson is still not up to full speed, and Brian Gruder, who came in from German football, is some talent too, by the way.
Solly March has been out for a while.
Solly March, yeah.
Estepinian from left back. I mean, they've got some serious options.
Bruno Fernandes is coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Scott McTominay. He gets booed, and Bruno Fernandes is now trying to stifle a smile as he comes off, and Maguire's gone off as well to be replaced by Matthijs de Ligt for his second appearance in the Manchester United jersey. He's going to get more minutes than he got last week, Matthijs de Ligt. So it's 1-1 between Brighton and Manchester United. You're listening to TalkSport. We're live at the Amex Stadium, and a free kick to Brighton is going to take place about 10 yards in from the right touchline and 12 or so yards inside opposition territory. Brighton on the attack. Manchester United with quite a high line here. It's drifted in behind that high line. João Pedro trying to get there before Onana becomes scurrying out, grabs it into his body, and in that bright yellow jersey then bowls it out into midfield. Good take by McTominay, who turns and plays it out wide towards the far side. Looks for the return from Garnacho, who got it on halfway and then sent him down the left flank. Across goes Billy Gilmour to try and shuffle him out of play, and the two Scots collide, and it's a Manchester United throw.
I just wonder if Eric Ten Hag's looked at the way the game's going and just thought to himself, do you know what, I'm not quite sure about us going on and winning this game. So bringing on the likes of McTominay and de Ligt, maybe getting a bit more defensive and more resolute in the middle of the park, certainly with McTominay, because I thought Fernandes looked quite sharp.
And the other thing we have to point out is the fact that we didn't even mention in our discussion about attacking talent, Jorginho, who's just been signed from Leeds, wearing the number 14 nowadays for Brighton. Still a little bit raw, but certainly has got some great abilities, and Hertzler was speaking about that in the week as Brighton come forward again. It's Matoma on the near side from Hinshelwood. Hinshelwood getting it back from Gilmour into Matoma, into the area. De Ligt gets it back to his goalkeeper, and he has to manage to clear out to this near side, and Amad Diallo scoops it over his head, feeds Joshua Zirkzee. He wanted to play it too early. He wanted to run too early, sorry, Amad, and he went just a little bit too early indeed, and the ball from Zirkzee actually would have been brilliant if he'd stayed onside. Worth pointing out that Amad is actually currently mourning the death of his father's wife, who he very much saw as a mother. He received the news, but asked still to play today, so it's a tough day for him. And he has got on the score sheet for Manchester United, so in quite sort of difficult circumstances, he's produced a very good performance today.
Do you know what he has? And he's looked really sharp. And do you know what will give him confidence, Sam, as well, is the fact that you look at little situations, the fact that Rashford has come off before him, I think will give him massive confidence, because he'll start to think, well, do you know what, maybe I'm starting to do things well, because we spoke about Garnacho's tromping at the bit. I think he's looked really sharp, Diallo, and Rashford hasn't. So the fact that now he's looked like he's going to stay on the pitch for the remainder, that will give him huge confidence.
Brighton 1, Manchester United 1. Commentary have equalised away at Ashton Gate, 1-1 between Bristol City and Coventry. The latest odds available, by the way, at Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. Right now you can get Brighton to go on and win the game at 18-5. Manchester United 4-1. Mistake by Onana and his fullbacks, and then Minte goes into the penalty area. Onana goes sliding in, and it's put behind and away for a corner. And he's dicing with depth there, Onana. Manchester United 4-1 to go on and win the game. The draw 18-5 on. Don't forget, Betfair are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute payout. It applies to Match Odds 90 market or markets with a 90 icon next to them. That's all thanks to Betfair 18+. BeGambleAware.org. I tell you what.
What are you telling me?
That Onana slide tackle was incredibly lucky not to end up in a penalty kick. Here is the corner, on towards the near side. Flicked away by Matthias de Ligt, and it's out on this near side. I think he got enough of the ball that there wasn't going to be a complaint. I don't think it was going to be overturned by a VAR by any stretch of the imagination, but it was very dicey. He gets that wrong by a millimetre, and Manchester United are in a world of trouble.
Causing their own problems again, trying to play out from the back. Onana giving Martinez a pass that was never really on. So Minter, they're doing really well defensively, winning the ball back and winning inside the corner.
And another corner on this near side to be taken by Billy Gilmour, right-footed into a crowded penalty area. Onana comes for it, gets a big haymaker punch on it. It was a cracking punch from the Manchester United goalkeeper. It's headed back towards the edge of the penalty area by Hinchelwood, but Manchester United might get a chance to escape here, and the ball's been lofted long towards Garnacho, but Veltman has gone across again, and actually Joel Veltman has adapted well to life against Alejandro Garnacho.
He's done really well there, because Garnacho's run, he stays in his own half. He's really intelligent with his movement, so he doesn't run in behind. But Joel Veltman there watched the ball all the way, went all up in the air, and this guy's a header back to Van Hecker. Good defending.
Last week Brighton's attack was ruthless, capitalising on the Everton errors, defensive lapses. Danny Welbeck with a very good goal. He scored again today, but they haven't capitalised on the Manchester United mistakes that they've made. Manchester United, who didn't really make the most of their opportunities in the first half, have come back and got level and threatened to actually go on and win the game, and would have done if Joshua Zirkzee hadn't have been on the line, touching the ball past into an empty net after Garnacho had looked to have won it for them. But there's still 7 minutes plus stoppage time to play, and it is still all to play for on the south coast. What have you learned about both these two teams today, Darren Bent?
Well, certainly Manchester United, that they need a centre forward. I think that lack of physicality up top, or a natural out and out front man, I think cost them that first half, and they didn't look great. And for Brighton as well, there's options. They've got so many players that are all hungry and that want an opportunity in this team, that the manager now's got options to pick from.
Garnacho into the box, tries to drive down the left-hand side, get a cross in, but it's blocked by Veltman. It goes out for a corner. And Manchester United with a chance. And they haven't had too many opportunities from set pieces today, Manchester United, and they've got a new set-piece coach in Andreas Jorgensen, who is now directing operations from the edge of the technical area, although Datlow didn't seem to know what was going on, nor did Mazraoui. They're trying to sort of direct traffic really from this near side. It's only their 4th corner kick of the game, and they have dominated possession, Manchester United, in this match. They've only had 2 shots on goal in it, but had 2 goals disallowed. Ball into the box, looking for Zirkzee. Gets a little bit of a ruffling from Van Hecker, and it's half cleared, and then, well, Brighton win it over on the far side, but Enciso can't escape, and Ahmad gets it back to the halfway line. Good defending by Brighton. 1-1, 5 minutes to go.
Big decisions for Erik ten Hag to make, I think, not only for the remainder of this game, but also
Ahmad running in behind, but the ball floated over the top by Onana is too hefty.
And also for his team selection for the next game, because I think there have been a number of players from Manchester United that have done themselves well. I think Zirkzee's looked really sharp for his second game. Amad Diallo's done really well. Garnacho's come on and been a real threat. Could have had a goal if it weren't for the offside. So I think he's got some really big decisions.
Remember, there's never been a Premier League draw between Manchester United and Brighton. 14 games old, that statistic. Is someone going to win it? Baleba trying to turn, gets to the edge of the penalty area, gets the return from Billy Gilmour, but across comes Martinez and just about manages to clear, but they've won it back, and here inside the area Baleba has got it back to João Pedro, and then Mainu manages to clear, and then Manchester United now look to go on the hunt at the other end, and Garnacho keeps it in far side, runs over the halfway line. McTominay running from deep down into the left channel, but over on the right, Ahmad is not going to get hold of that. It goes out of play, and it's away for a throw into Brighton, who I think will be pretty happy with a point. I think maybe both teams will, really, because they know the other's quality. Brighton feel as if there's a lot to come from them this season. They're going to make changes right at the end of the game. Adingra now, I think, is going to come on. They've got a game against Crawley in midweek in the Carabao Cup. Carabao Cup action will focus our attention during the midweek kick-off programmes. And Manchester United welcome Liverpool next Sunday. Here is Garnacho, left side, trying to dance his way past Van Hecke. Van Hecke, brilliant. Watched it all the way and then pinched it.
I think he's been brilliant all game, Van Hecke. Defended really, really well. Sensed danger. I know he was a bit unfortunate with the goal that Man United got. But I think in general, his general defensive display, I think has been very good.
Brighton come forward. There's a foul by Casemiro, but they're allowed to play on. João Pedro stretches to prod the ball into the path of Minte. Minte gets into the penalty area and then plays a ball down the right side. I'm not entirely sure what he was looking for there, but it wasn't coming. And it's straight into the arms of Onana, and there's 3 minutes to go, and the game's getting stretched, and it's very similar to what happened right at the end of the Fulham game on Friday night. Manchester United benefit when there's chaos.
Yeah, they do, because they've got really winning runners on the pitch now. Garnacho and Amad Diallo, Xerxes, all these guys are just waiting now for an opportunity. The ball gets to slid them behind and then running for goal. So you can see Lewis Dunk there was screaming at his team to get back into shape, because right now, I'm not saying it favours Manchester United, but the way the game's kind of opening up, we fancy United to go on and win it.
Well, it's going to open up even more because Fabian Herzler is not settling for the draw. He's bringing on Simon Adingra, Yassine Ayari, who had a goal disallowed last week at Goodison Park, and Jorginho.
I mean, he fancies it, doesn't he? He fancies it.
Van Hecke onto Enciso, trying to put it through the legs of Martinez. Wasn't going to work. And there was a foul there by Van Hecke. And then Casemiro goes across to act as peacemaker, and a yellow card comes out for Jean-Paul Van Hecke.
Yeah, Van Hecke there, understanding the situation where he thinks they're going to break and just fouls Martinez, and a little scuffle afterwards. Not a lot in it though, not a lot in it. Definitely a booking, but not a lot in it.
Gilmore's going to come off for Yassine Asari, Jorginho for Minte, and Adingra for Matoma as they freshen up that front battalion as we go into the last few seconds of this game. What do you make of those changes?
Okay, I mean, quite clearly, as you said there, he obviously wants to go for the win. I'm looking forward to it. I've loved Adingra. He's got a really good goal again last week towards the end of the game. Obviously, Jorginho coming on. Brilliant for Leeds last year in terms of his assists. Maybe the numbers for goals could be higher. And Ayari, I mean, he quite clearly tells me that he's not settling for a point, and he feels there's an opportunity there for Brighton to go on and win it.
Herzler said that Jorginho benefited from a good pre-season with Leeds. He has got great ability to find the positions in between the lines. He's got a good first touch. He always plays forward. He's a bit raw occasionally. 8 goals and 16 assists for Leeds last season is pretty good in the Championship.
It is. It's really good. And you said the 16 assists. He will understand that he's coming to this team now full of confidence. I don't think he got a goal last time he was in the Premier League. I don't think anything, but one thing he will do is take the ball in difficult circumstances, and he'll make things happen.
Let's see what happens in the last few minutes here. Manchester United have taken off Amad Diallo and replaced him with Anthony, who says we are going to see his name attached to goals and assists this season. This is the first time we've seen him on the pitch.
I think he needs to. I mean, he's not quite at work for him yet. Why, I don't know. He's had opportunities, but just hasn't taken them yet.
Here he is, first touch, taking it out of the sky, down the right side, looking to get the better of Adingra and Hinshelwood. Gets to the byline, tries to produce a cross. He does that, comes back to McTominay, swipes it goalwards, comes back to the edge of the area. Casemiro with an effort. It was poor in terms of its velocity, and it was easy to catch for Jason Steele, who immediately dispatches upfield. We've hit the 90. How many minutes are we going to have added on? 7 minutes of added time at the end of the 90. On TalkSport, Brighton 1, Manchester United 1 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, wherever the mission, home and away. Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. Won by Asari, turned by João Pedro into the penalty area. Dallo comes across and gets it back to his goalkeeper as Brighton go on the attack. Game very stretched now, very open. Are we going to get a winner? 7 minutes of added time, and they've just been told here that is what we're going to get on TalkSport. We're going to be speaking to both managers straight after the game from the tunnel. Here is Jorginho on the right side for Brighton, who look on the march for a winner. Out to Veltman, his cross to the back post, and Adingra was rising, but it was just too high for him, and he couldn't get on the end of it, and it glances away to the near side, and it's received by Hinshelwood, and then Mazraoui makes a silly decision. They want to take the free kick quickly, they're not allowed to.
I mean, that's bad refereeing there, because he spots the ball, Jack Hinshelwood, and rolls in Adingra, and Adingra's in. But the referee's pulled it back. But good play from Brighton again, working it down that right hand side. Routier coming in, and that little reverse pass. Both teams, it's almost like Manchester United leaving a front four, Brighton leaving their front four, and there's all chaos and there's the gaps everywhere in the middle of the park.
Well, it makes it for an entertaining spectacle. Will we get a winner? 91 gone. Here is Enciso to deliver. Needs to be pinpoint. Manchester United defending the edge of their 6-yard box with a line of 6, and everybody from Brighton is within range of that United penalty area. Enciso sends it into the centre. It's flicked away by McTominay. Xerxes didn't get a clean header on it. Comes down for Yassin Ayari, who hits it straight against the body of Dalot, and it goes out for a throw over on the far side. Yassin Ayari, who came off the bench last week, spent last season in the Championship with Coventry City and Blackburn on loan. He's a Swedish international. We're probably pleased that his mates at Coventry have got back in the game in the Championship. 1-1 there, 1-1 over on TalkSport 2 between QPR and Plymouth, and 0-0 Hull Millwall. Here is Adingra again into Baleba, and then back to Hinshelwood. Van Hecke, 92 minutes on the clock. Still 5 minutes of stoppage time to play here on the south coast. Jorginho, big, strong, muscular, runs infield, skips past 2 challenges, feeds João Pedro. João Pedro on the edge of the box to Adingra, then dunk out wide to Enciso. He kicks it onto his right foot, looks to hit it, does hit it towards the far corner, and it was a driving shot from 25 yards, which went a yard over the top of the crossbar, and the Brighton fans look to their heavens with their arms above their heads as if to say, that was close.
The ball just wouldn't settle for him. I mean, he does everything right. He shifts it, he goes past the defender, and it's that last touch. If he pushes it out with his feet, he gets a better strike and goal. But because it's almost stuck under his feet, he's trying to manoeuvre it. He can't quite get a clean strike, but great play again from Brighton.
Baleba getting back and dispossessing Kobbie Mainoo. And winning it back for Brighton, who have actually had most of the ball since that board went up for 7 minutes, and they made those changes, and Veltman is careering forward after taking it out of the sky on the halfway line to the right wing position, and Jorginho. Enciso is there, low ball into the near post, and Matthijs de Ligt had to come across in front of the AFCON winner Adingra and put it out and away for another corner to Brighton.